Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am coming at you today with my go-to makeup look lately. I mentioned this in my last video, which was my November favorites, because most of the makeup items that I talked about in that video were ones that I have used over and over and over again in the month of November, and I really just stuck to this look. Like, I didn't really deviate from the eye look much. I didn't deviate from the lips that much. And like the powder, the blush, and the highlighter, I barely deviated from at all. So because I don't often stick to one look that long, I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to film it and show y'all the look that I have been absolutely loving lately. So if you want to see this look and how I got it, then just keep on watching. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I typically have a hairband on my arm and I don't, so hopefully that won't get in the way too much. We're gonna start out with eyes, and I had mentioned in my favorites that I have been kind of switching up the actual palettes that I've been using for my matte colors, where the lid color stays the same. I did find myself reaching for this one probably the most out of all of them, and it's the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette. One of my very favorites, continues to be one of my very favorites. I love the color combinations in this palette. I love that they're all matte. So it is a go-to for me for sure. So I'm going to go into Fresh Picked, which is this color right down here. And I'm going to take my Wayne Goss number 16. Are you so surprised? I really need to just probably throw out all of my other eye brushes. And I'm just going to put that into my crease. A little bit down, like on my lid on the outer corner is fine. Not worried about that. This is going to be the only crease color we use. So I like to take it up just a little bit on my brow bone. These shadows, I feel like they're foolproof, really. Anybody can use them, anybody can blend them. They all go so well together. All right, and then, I really varied this throughout the month, but I would take this color down here, this Peach Sangria, which is one of my very favorite colors in the palette. I love that color. I would take Peach Cobbler, and I would take Just Ripe. Just Ripe is what I had on in my favorites video, so I think I'm going to use that. It's this really pretty purple tone color, and I'm going to use the Persona Cosmetics brush. Just kind of stamp that on my outer corner. And you can see one of my favorite tools is my finger. I use it so much for my eyeshadow looks to blend it out. Do you see how easy that was just to kind of stamp that color? That's why I love this brush so much. It's just perfect. And I did not realize, because I bought it with, well, actually, they sent me the copper kit, and then I bought the pink kit, so I didn't realize how incredibly affordable the brush by itself is. It's like $9.99. Okay, that's all we're gonna do for the colors in that palette, and now I'm gonna take the star of the show from last month, basically. I used this so much, and it is the Becca Champagne Pop Highlighter. So I cannot believe I have an eye hit pan, because you can see the dent in it. And all I've done is I just take my finger and I kind of get on the other side of the dent, load it up on my finger, and I just press it into the inner half of my eye. And then just kind of mix it with that outer B color a little bit. Then I use my left hand finger. I feel like when I use my right hand finger on my left eye, I don't get the look I want. It's maybe completely ridiculous, but I just feel like the left hand is meant to go with the left side. I do the same thing with mascara. I put my mascara on my left eye with my left hand. And just like that, I have my lid color, no brushes, no nothing, and my eye look is complete. That is the go-to eye look that I had this month for sure, by far, like almost every day. Now, I changed up my primers and foundations pretty regularly, but I did kind of stick to a rotation of about 6 or 7 foundations. I'm going to use one I don't know that I've used on film yet. For my primer, I'm going to use the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigments Illuminating Primer. And I'm just going to use a couple of pumps of that, because this is not only illuminating, which I didn't really need because I felt like I was already pretty dewy looking for my skincare, but it's also moisturizing, but again, it has that tack. All right, so we've got that down. Now let's color correct. I feel like my under eyes have been super dark lately. I don't know if it's a combination of allergies or honestly last night I barely slept at all. So I'm gonna mix in my Color Science Total Eye 3-in-1. I'm gonna mix in a little bit of the Armani Master Corrector because it's a little bit of a darker orange and I need all the coverage I can get. For some reason, I've been really liking packing that on with a brush lately. I don't know, I feel like it keeps the right amount of product on. And for some reason, I've got a couple of little tiny breakouts on my nose. So even though this is not green, which typically is best for red, I do find it helps cover up redness when it comes to like breakouts, or I'll take whatever's left on my finger and I'll put it on my chin because my chin always gets really red. Okay, now I'm going to use the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigments Flawless Serum Foundation. I self-tanned this morning, but I used a new self-tanner and it's not that tan. I feel like it's not near as dark as the ones that I've been using. So this may end up being a little too dark, but we're going to go with it. And I probably should have said, don't pay attention to my nails. I picked off all of my gel polish last night because I'm due for a manicure. And I tend to do that, and now they just look wretched. Okay, this is in the color 17 Medium Tan. So it might be a little too dark, but that's okay. I do feel like these run a little bit lighter. You really have to shake these up. It's a serum foundation, so it's very liquidy. And I'm going to take a little bit of that and stipple it on with the It Cosmetics Dual-Ended Heavenly Luxe Foundation Brush. It's very lightweight foundation, hence the serum in the title, and the name. And I feel like a little goes a long way. So obviously it's much darker than my actual face because my actual face is much lighter than the rest of my body, even when I don't self-tan, just because of how much exfoliating I do. But I am going to need to bring that down pretty far. I may need to change out of a V-neck before I actually go anywhere today. Typically I can get away with it in the winter because, you know, a lot of times you're wearing sweaters that don't show much. But for some reason I chose something that will make it very obvious that this foundation may be a tad dark. But with my normal self-tan, it does match. So I'm just going to take my Beauty Blender and kind of tap over that. Make sure everything's blended in well. Pick up any extra product I don't need. Okay, and now we are going to go to concealer. Really, it's not even just November, but don't you like that? Ever since I bought these two concealers, which is probably 2 or 3 months ago, I have basically been rotating through, and it's either the Josie Marin Vibrancy or the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. So that's the one I'm going to use today, and this is the number 3. I'm just going to put a little bit under each eye. You notice I did not like dip it back into the product. I just turned it over and used what was on the other side so that I can avoid putting too much under my eyes. That does me no favors anymore. I'm going to take what's left and kind of press it onto those 2 little breakouts I got. I'm going to set that with the Laura Mercier Secret Blurring Powder. And this is, I get asked this all the time, it's the Sephora Pro Crease number 10. They don't make it anymore. It's discontinued. I feel like every once in a while they'll bring it back in the sales section, but right now you can't get it. But any fluffy eyeshadow brush will work just fine. That's just the size and density that I prefer to use under my eyes, so that you don't put too much product down and start looking cakey, and you don't cover too much ground either, because I don't want this anywhere but under my eyes. Now, this is one of the things that did not change, and it is the powder, and it's the Well People Bio Brightener Invisible Powder. So this was in my favorites as well. It's one of those ones that I didn't really like when I first got, and I can't even tell you why. I just didn't feel like anything was that special about it, but now I like it. So put a little bit in the cap. I'm going to use the Morphe E3. I went between this and my, what's the other one that I like? The Sephora Highlight 98 brush. And I'm just going to pat it onto the face. Because that serum concealer is so, I find it to be moisturizing personally. I guess I should say because it's so liquidy. I do feel like I need to press my powder in, which I do most of the time anyways, versus buffing it, and that way it won't move anything. So a lot of the main reason I like any powder is because it doesn't look like powder on my face. This one takes down the luminosity a little bit, but it doesn't completely take it away. I switched up my bronzers too, but I wore this one in my favorites video, and I have been wearing it a couple days before that, so I'm going to go ahead and use it again. It's the Hourglass Ambient Bronzer in Luminous Bronze Light. I cannot believe I have not hit pan on this. These things last forever, and I'm going to use the Beautycounter powder fan brush that I used in my, or that I talked about in my favorites video as well. And I really want to get up here because I mentioned that I like it for really pressing that bronzer into the hairline so that there's no white scalp showing through. I do feel like I need to contour a little bit more. I'm not going to, but oh my goodness, y'all. I'm on this new medication, which I'm gonna have to talk to my doctor because I think I need to get off of it. And I'm retaining like 12 pounds of water right now. And I can really see it in my face. And it's killing me. So we're going to have to do something about that. But see how I said you can just get right under the jaw and then bring it down? Right under the jaw and bring it down. Oh, I love this brush. It's so soft. I am going to make it easy and use that same highlight, the Becca Champagne Pop, for my face. You really can't go wrong with this highlighter. I don't do my nose, but I do love a Cupid's bow highlight. Okay, the blush is another thing that stayed the same, and it's the Glow Skin Beauty Blush in Soleil. So it looks like this. I love this blush. I just put it on the, it's a tiny little pan, I will say that, but I just put it on the tip of my blush brush and just pat it in, and then bring whatever down on my cheek once I buff it out. Hopefully you'll be able to see it better, but that's one of the reasons I like it so much, is because it's not one of those, oh my goodness, I put way too much blush on type of blushes, but it just gives a really nice sheen to the cheeks. So we will be buffing out with the Hourglass Radiant Light, and I have hit pan on this one, so I will be repurchasing. Don't do my forehead, but I do everywhere else. And then I'm going to use a spray. I have been using this a lot lately. It's the Lila Be A Glow Face Mist. I bought this little one. You can see I'm almost done. It has not lasted a long time. It was $16, which is a little crazy. I do like it. I don't know that it's like any better than my Jane Iredale or my Algenist. What else do I really like? Or my Cover FX hydrating spray. I don't know if it's any better than that, but oh, I'm glowing. Okay. Now let's go back into the Too Faced palette, and I'm going to use the other Beautycounter brush that I talked about in my favorites, the crease brush, because this is very similar to the Wayne Goss number 20 that I always use under my eyes. And so I've been using that, and I'm just going to go into Fresh Picked, which is what we used in our crease, and just load up the under eye. For some reason, I'm a little glowier on this cheek than I am this cheek, but oh well, it's glow. I'm not going to complain too much about it. And I'm going to take the Sephora Pro Shader number 18 with a little bit of that Champagne Pop again. We are really making good use of this product, and put it in the inner corner. All right, now I'm going to do my mascara off camera. I think the only thing I'm going to do different is that, and this is not something that I've necessarily been doing I always use the MAC Giga Black on my lower lash line, and I always use the Jane Iredale Lash Conditioner and L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primers together. But I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara because I need to use it up. I don't want to waste it. And I thought, why not? So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll be right back, and we'll do lips, and then we'll be all done. Okay, mascara's done. All we've got is lips. And I'm not going to say this was like the lip combination I wore every single day, but I did wear it probably for like a week in a row, so it's what I'm going to wear today. And I would love to tell you it's this bright, vibrant color, but it's not. I would be lying. It's a nude, y'all. I like nude lips. So it is the color Cherish for MAC. Looks like that. Love this color. Very underrated. I don't hear enough people talking about it. It's a satin, which I think is my favorite finish from the MAC lipstick. Satin and cream sheens. All right, and I'm going to top it with Bare Minerals Far Out, which should not be a surprise because I love this lip gloss. This is my third one. I just opened it like 2 weeks ago. That is the finished look. I feel like I'm really glowy, but that's okay. I don't hate that. I mean, I do like to look sweaty most of the day anyway, so I just started out that way. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I really wanted to put the most emphasis on the highlight, the blush, and the powder, and kind of the eyeshadow technique, because that's the look and the products that I've been wearing the most. The other stuff, like I said, I kind of switched up, but thought it was fun to use anyway. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and let me know down in the comment section what the one makeup product that you can't stop using right now. Because I know a lot of us are makeup junkies, and we have way more than we could ever use in our lifetime, or our kids' lifetimes, or our grandkids' lifetimes. But we have it anyways, and sometimes we don't get stuck on one thing. But when we do, I kind of like to know what it is. So let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future content. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.